Tourism has been low in the county. It started with late winter snowfall, and now this spring has had a decrease in visitors from across the border. Megan Wasakin has more.
Since 2014, George Dion has prepared the Grand Isle campground for the visitors the camping season brings in. This season, Dion says there has been a noticeable difference in the number of campers.
I've had Canadian campers every year except for this year. This year they're all scared of crossing the border because of the Trump issue. So I figure my revenue is going to be down by at least 20%.
And Dion is not the only one who has noticed a lack of visitors from across the border. Michelle Barnard, co-owner of the KOA Journey Campground located in Houlton, says they haven't seen as many Canadian campers as usual. And Arntt's campground here in Presque Isle has already received multiple cancellations from Canadian residents. The decrease is most noticeable at the ports of entry throughout the county.
Particularly for March, that's where we saw the biggest decrease. So if you look at just isolating one of those, we can look at Van Buren, and we can see that passenger vehicles in the month of March dropped by 70%.
Pelkey goes on to say that a lot of the drop would have been day trip folks coming into the county to go shopping or participate in an event. According to Pelkey, the definition of a tourist is someone who is traveling more than 50 miles to stay in the county for 35 minutes or more.
People coming from Medway, Maine, Fredericton, or Edmonton, New Brunswick, they're technically just our neighbors. They're not coming more than 50 miles. But somebody from Bangor, somebody from a little bit farther away like Fredericton, they would be.
Whether it's tourism or a neighbor visiting from right across the border, Lenise Searway from the Central Aroostook Chamber of Commerce says movement is important to our economy.
So when it comes to people maybe coming from Canada or coming up maybe from the Lincoln area to attend some programs that they enjoy, or even, the Valley coming to Central Aroostook or Central Aroostook going to the Valley, there's a lot of value in that movement.
Searway and Pelkey believe it'll take some effort on our part to help the Canadian visitors feel welcomed once more into our country. Aroostook County Tourism is already looking into ways to do so. Pelkey says the start of it will be the installation of town signs that can be read by folks fluent in English and French.